If you never believed Michelle Malkin was a bed wench before, you will believe it after this article that I read that was written by her. So she basically has written a letter or an article toward the Asian community. And this is the title, y'all. Asians, stop blaming Whitey. So you already know where she's headed with this. Can I have your attention, please? I'm going to share a little secret that liberal quote-unquote people of color and their public relations agents in the media don't want you to know. The recent crime wave against Asians in America's big cities is not the fault of Donald Trump, MAGA activists, conservative talk radio, or white people. Woo! Let me remind you, this is the same heifer that is hanging off of the nutsack of Dirty Dick Danny Holtzclaw, a known serial rapist that happened to rape and sexually assault nothing but black women or black females. Just keep that in mind. It's the fault of the perpetrators and the perpetrators alone, most of whom happen to be thugs of color. These are her words, y'all. I'm not exaggerating anything this woman is writing. She said thugs of color, aka black people. Let's pop the delusional bubble of left-wing Asians who marched recently in New York City, Oakland, and San Francisco in unity protests against white supremacy. And she puts white supremacy in quotations, which basically means she's brushing it off. These wokesters blame anti-Asian bias created by an imagined backlash by imagined white supremacists against China because of COVID-19. Donning black and Asian unity t-shirts, they embraced the self-defeating attitude of Oakland organizer Eddie Zhang, who wheedled, supporting our Asian community is not about dividing us. This support is for all of us suffering under white supremacy. We need to understand that so we can triumph and have public and personal safety. So now that you have some Asian people finally calling out Dub S, you have Michelle Malkin, who is the official bed wench of the Asian community. I know what it is. Michelle Malkin is their Candace Owens. There it is. That's the best example for it. And I'm gonna tweet that too when I'm done with this video. She is the Candace Owens for Asian people, for the Asian community. Reality check. Just recently in Vallejo, California, Filipino-American store owner Mark Quitted was shot 4 times in the leg by a gang of armed robbers. They were black. 2 weeks ago in Oakland's Chinatown, a 91-year-old Asian man was assaulted by an assailant amidst a crime wave of more than 20 robberies and 20 violent attacks in their neighborhood. The attacker wasn't a white-hooded white man in a KKK robe. He was a masked black man in a black hoodie. I want y'all to follow here. In Daly City, California, an 84-year-old Thai grandfather died after a brutal attack while on a daytime walk in his neighborhood. His attacker was a teenage black street criminal. She gave 3 examples where 3 black people were involved in Asian attacks. And in her first statement in the beginning of this article, she referred to them as thugs of color. She not only subliminally said what she said, but now she's basically come out and blatantly reiterated what she said in her first point, which we already knew she was talking about black people, or black men in particular. Thugs of color, and then the 3 examples she gave were specifically black men, not those of color, which would be a mix of maybe, black men, Hispanic men, or even other Asian men. She made sure to specifically lean on heavily black men and black males because one of them was a teenager. Viral videos have exposed several vicious attacks on elderly Asian subway riders and pedestrians in New York City since last fall, an inconvenient detail that anyone with functional eyes can see. The perpetrators in the security camera footage aren't wearing MAGA hats. Guess what, Michelle Malkin? Neither was the one who shot up that spa. Now, mind you, she wrote this article a couple days before what happened in Atlanta. This article that she wrote up was on March 10th. This was before what happened in Atlanta. But she's still going to lean heavily on this because this is a Dub S in yellow face. She said they don't have flaming crosses in hand inconveniently for the defund police Defund the police hipsters, the opportunities robbing, punching, and shooting agents on those videos aren't white people. They are black, and that's just plain fact. So she's literally writing a whole article that's literally targeting black people. She's about as worse as Juju Chain, because Michelle Malkin's been on this tip. She's been like this. Anything that she can use to go after black people, she's going to use it, and she's going to overinflate it. That's why she is, in my opinion, the Asian version of Candace Owens. Because Candace Owens does the same thing, but she just happens to be black, and I put that in quotations too, because I don't think the bitch wants to be black. More facts. Just like I don't think this bitch wants to be Asian. Federal Bureau of Justice statistics data show that of nearly 600,000 violent interracial victimizations involving blacks and whites, black suspects committed 537,204 interracial felonies, not including homicides, or 90%, and whites committed 56,394 of them, or less than 10%. So this woman right here is literally making a whole case of black people attacking Asians, and now she's gonna pull out these so-called stats and now has turned it into interracial crime, where black people are just going out here and vehemently going after white people, or just anybody who is not black. I'm waiting for her to pull up the black on black crime stats. I'm just waiting on it. I'm gonna keep on reading and see if she's gonna bring it up. This is, or less than 10%. Red Elephant's blogs points out that black perpetrators are also overrepresented among all perpetrators of hate crime by 50%, according to the most recent Justice Department data from 2017. Whites are underrepresented by 24%. You never hear these facts from mainstream media. It's a sin of omission that amounts to journalistic malpractice. The leftist Trump derangement syndrome sufferers have zero evidence that the thugs robbing and murdering vulnerable elderly agents have ever cared one iota about politics, COVID-19, race, or Trump. They have zero evidence that these street attacks were inspired by anti-Asian hate, as opposed to pure opportunism, criminal malice, or plain evil. These crimes in liberal cities are spiking as radical. George Soros-backed district attorneys enact soft on crime policies such as restorative justice that let violent criminals run free. Chesa Boudin, San Francisco supported DA and son of convicted Weather Underground terrorist, dropped robbery, elder abuse, and hate crime charges last year against a 20-year-old black suspect caught on tape attacking an elderly Asian man. Burglaries, arson, and motor vehicle thefts have all spiked as Boudin has abandoned prosecution of quality of life crimes as well as prosecutions for felony arrest. When you elect soft on crime politicians and prosecutors, you get more crime. When you defund and demonize the police, all innocent citizens are unsafe, whatever their color. Blaming whitey may get you, and see, the thing is, even she even talks like a white woman. Blaming whitey. That's how they talk, and that's how she's talking. This bitch really probably thinks she's white. You may get you a few virtue signaling points, but at what price in blood? What's truly insane is that Asian American liberals are marching arm in arm with the very dangerous zealots whose policies incentivize these street crimes against the vulnerable and defenseless in the first place. Remember, what you permit, you promote. What you allow, you encourage. And what you condone, you own. Oh my God. I can't even bring myself to even be completely mad with what she's saying, because this is who she is. Every time I talk about Michelle Malkin, which is few and far in between, she always has something to say in defense of every other group against black people, and then she comes up with all of this shit to try to demonize black people even further. Asian people, for the most part, don't like Michelle Malkin, and she has to know this. She has to know this. But she said thugs of color. Here's the thing, Michelle. Thugs come in every color. Thugs just aren't black. But thank you for letting us know how you feel and what thug means to you. Because this woman not only thinks she's white, but she has the mindset of a white person too. That's the thing. Thugs does not have to be just a specific color, but we know coded language, thug means black. She's going to get her wake-up call, and I can't wait for the day when it actually happens. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this bitch down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you text the number that is linked in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I go live or upload a new video.